You're listening to ArTEEtude, a podcast with artists created and produced by Detlef Schlich, a visual artist and ritual designer, living and loving in West Cork, and best known for his essay about the cause and effect of shamanism, art and digital culture. Working in the field of performance, photography, painting, sound, installations, and film, he will dive and discover with us and a weekly creative guest into the unknown and exciting deep ocean of the creative mind.
This is Detlef Schlich, and today we dive into the unexpected, deep and exciting ocean of the creative mind of creative people, and in this time of creative musicians, like my guest Stuart Wilde. Hi, Stuart.
Hey, Dad.
It's actually Stu, no?
Stu, Stuart, whatever.
Yeah. It's great to have you here.
This is ArTEEtude. Stu ArTEEtude.
Stutitude.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we finished our first chat last time about Stu's growing up in general in Dublin as a sound engineer, and he used to be there as a stage monkey, starring a couple of bands in Red Hot Chili Peppers and PJ Harvey and
whatever they paid us for, you know.
I bet with you that some people are getting already now jealous, you know. So what does he say? He saw Red Hot Chili Peppers and he was falling into sleep because he was.
Sorry, Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's true.
Because he was working so hard. So you don't like them too much.
I know. I was a big fan back in the day. I loved Mother's Milk and Blood Sugar Sex Magic. That era was great.
Yeah.
But then they got really famous and I thought they got boring. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I mean, I still like the way how they made songs. I mean, the best.
Sure, they were great.
One of the best songs is for sure "Under the Bridge," and
that era was fantastic.
Yeah,
they were on fire in those days.
Yeah. And give it away now.
Yeah, I did get to see them when I was young on that tour, which was fantastic.
I mean, and they still had socks on the cocks.
Well, I didn't see them wearing the socks on the cocks. I don't remember, but those days. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, so okay. I mean, this show is already censored, so we can go this direction.
Sure.
Yeah, that's quite cool. So he went to that area as a sound engineer as well, and then came to West Cork. Was there anything in between, or did you came immediately from Dublin over?
Yeah, short. Yeah, maybe I took a trip over to Spain or whatever, but nothing major, you know.
It's not for a long time. Just
a couple of months.
Okay, so there was not really
happened.
Yeah, a break in between. So you came over to West Cork in the 90s already?
No, it was the. Trying to think what year it was. Not very good with years, Dad.
Yeah, so
it was about 16 years ago, I guess.
Around
so
that.
You do the maths. I'm not good at that.
Me neither.
The listeners can do the maths.
Okay, so dear listeners, around 16, 17.
Answers on a postcard to somewhere in the wilds of West Cork between Ballydehob and Skibbereen.
The man with the beer voice, Stuart Wilde.
Well, you know.
I mean, you guys, if you listen to Stuart's songs, so you probably will get reminded from a lot of different influences somehow as well. Dr. John for sure, I think.
Sure, yeah, I love Dr. John.
It's quite funky.
Mac Rebennack was his name.
Mac Rebennack.
Yeah.
It's his original name.
Yeah, well, was it his original name? I guess it was, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So Dr. John, I could. I mean, we try to compare always songs and voices. If you hear that, it sounds like this. I mean, the people in my younger years, they came to me. So you're looking like Bon Jovi, you know, and I was really disappointed and upset. You know, it's
You look like the whole band, or just John Bon Jovi?
Honestly, they came. We were just once in the middle of the night in a club, and two girls came and to me. It was 2:00 in the night. And are you Bon Jovi? You know, I say yeah, I am, and this is my manager. And my friend was with me. You know, Rasta Locks, and so we were looking very, very naughty, you know, and but he was jealous that they came to me and asked me, "Are you Bon Jovi?" You know, and he covered it up, you know. So after 5 minutes, I say, "Robert, you're such an idiot," you know.
Where was this? In
Cologne.
Cologne.
It was in Cologne, in Roxy. Roxy is an ancient it's a club which opens at 12:00 in the night up to 8-10 in the morning, you know. I mean, it was mad. I was so disappointed. They were nice girls, though. You know, yeah, sure, I'm Bon Jovi, sure. Yes.
Why not?
So yeah, that's the comparison. I think we can compare Stuart with a lot of different styles.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. Now back to the show.
So what do you think? What influenced you?
My influences, I guess, like early on, Paul Simon.
Yeah.
Well, Simon and Garfunkel is probably
honestly
some of the earliest music I remember. You know, and then because I think my mother told me when I was in the pram, the stereo was set up with the record player and the two speakers on the sideboard, you know, and she used to push the pram up to it with the hood facing towards the speakers, and she'd put on Simon and Garfunkel's greatest hits. So even though I'm too young to actually have a solid memory, when I listen to that record, I still have the vinyl that she would have put on, and there is something that just I don't remember a time when it wasn't part of my life, you know. So that's probably my earliest musical influence that I'm aware of. Then after that, I was my mum was a huge Beatles fan, and the Beach Boys. So I some of my earliest solid memories was dancing around to the Beatles or the Beach Boys in the living room.
Yeah, sure. And
that stuff, but that stuff, what you hear when you're that young, that will influence I mean, you take a break when you hit kind of 12, 13, and 14, and that.
Yeah.
But like,
and look at your own identity.
It was only a little time after that it came back to me, and I just was like, "Oh wow!" Like, the Beatles are just a fantastic band.
Sure. I mean,
they're one of my all-time favorites. I don't get bored of them. So.
No, actually, I still can listen to them as well.
Yeah.
So you can listen to them more than to Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, like, the whole Beatles career is still like something. It's a staple for me. You know, it's something I listen to. Well, not so much the earlier stuff. More from the mid '60s onwards, like
the earliest. They are a little bit la.
Great music, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
the songwriting was excellent all the way through. They never dropped the ball, you know, which is unusual. A band that gets famous often they do a couple albums and then
But I mean, so songs like Opladi, Oplada, and Octopus's Garden, they were a little. They are nice, but
well, Ringo wrote Octopus's Garden.
yeah.
So like I mean, for a Ringo song, I think it's excellent. And then the album.
What else did he write?
I can't remember the other ones off the top of my head, but that's probably the most memorable one. The other memorable one that he sang was Yellow Submarine, but Lennon and McCartney wrote that, so it doesn't have the same. Yeah.
No, was obviously what I realized it was actually as well this area where I'm a Walrus and all the songs, they were really great, but if it came to Oplada, I skipped it,
Fair enough, yeah.
So
no, I get that. Yeah.
So that was somehow so I don't know. I mean nowadays so I don't mind, but it's still not absolutely my cup of tea. But no, they're great. So your mother, she listened more to English music than to Irish?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of like trad music or anything in my house growing up. I kind of got exposed to it a bit later when I was, I guess I was maybe 14 or something, so that kind of age. I had a friend who was a fiddle player, a trad player.
Yeah.
And we used to go to sessions. It's like I was 14 in a pub in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, well, yeah.
In those days, that was okay. They'd even serve you pints. It was great crack.
They served you pints, probably.
Yeah, they did.
So when did you drink your first pint? How old? Which age?
In a pub?
Yeah.
I'm guessing 13.
That's not too early. I mean, that was, I think, my kind of same. Actually, I probably had my first beer mixed with a little bit dark beer. Sweet beer, in the age of 10.
Okay, yeah.
It was in Cologne. It was very common. I mean, went with my father every Sunday into pubs. Playing pinball with it. So and it was I liked it till the time. It's pub culture, Cologne, as well.
Right. Okay.
Very, very much. I mean, that's actually the reason why Cork City is partner town, twin town with Cologne.
Is it? I didn't know that.
They are, and they love each other like brothers and sisters. And
This is
For that reason alone, I must go and visit.
Cologne is great. I mean, it's a party town. People are often, they are actually open-minded, So if you're in a pub, you immediately you get into a talk with other people as well. So that's
nice.
For that, I really liked it. But it's still a city, You need money, and if you don't have money,
sure. That's any city, really.
You struggle, and I mean, now the rents are so high, and as we artists, we need space,
Sure, yeah.
I couldn't live in a 40 square meter or apartment in the city, where you have your neighbors up on top, underneath, left, right, and another anymore, And that's, unfortunately, you need really money in order to find a place where you can work your creative stuff, For that, we're gonna live probably as well here in West Cork.
Yeah, it's kind of going that way, right?
So you get influenced by Simon and Garfunkel and the Beatles at the beginning.
Yeah.
It was
Then I discovered punk music. I discovered the Dead Kennedys and the Sex Pistols and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't listen to the Sex Pistols much these days. The Dead Kennedys, I'd still rate them highly. They were fantastic. Fugazi, that was a great band as well. a bit later.
I know them. Fugazi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What was the popular song of them? Well,
Waiting Room, maybe.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great band.
I don't know much though of them. I mean, Sex Pistols. A friend of mine, one of my oldest friends, he was very much into punk. I used to like the atmosphere and the vibe, but the music was for me too hard and too quick.
Okay.
It was
It was exactly what I wanted to hear when I was 13 years old.
yeah.
Yeah, I went to my first proper gig when I was 13 years old, and I got the bus up to Dublin
Yeah.
and met some friends who were a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
So they'd been around the block a couple of times, and we went to McGonagall's and we went to see the band Therapy. Therapy with a question mark there from the north.
All right.
And they were great live, and it was quite an experience. For the first time I get to go out to see a band, at 13. I remember one guy, he climbed up the top of the speaker stacks and he was standing up there and he had his hands outstretched and he jumped off, like, because people had been stage diving all night.
Yeah.
And and he was a big guy and the crowd parted and he just face planted the dance floor. And some people dragged him off the dance floor, just propped him up against the wall and patted him on the back and said bye-bye. Back into the pogo dancing. It was quite an experience.
I mean, I think with 13, this is quite a huge influence.
Yeah. It is. You're a sponge at 13.
Yeah, because I mean, I am actually happy that I didn't. I started with 8 years buying my first record, and that was Miquel Rios, A Song of Joy. I mean, it was a version from this Spanish singer from Beethoven. It's nothing, a song of joy, da, 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 da,
Yeah.
And then Mango Jerry in the Summertime.
Oh, great tune.
So,
They had a jug, didn't they?
Yeah. It's a little bit Dr. John as well in it.
Oh, they're great. Yeah.
So that was, and for sure, then all the glam rock, T-Rex and so on, Alice Cooper, and that this 70s was my thing, absolutely. My older cousins, 7 years older, they used to listen to Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin, and I was 13 and I wanted to get a Led Zeppelin, or maybe 12 or 11, because I know that it was Hula La 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 Love I used to love, and the shop seller, the record seller, trader in the shop, this lady didn't have a clue about the record, and I had this record. I remember that like it was yesterday, in my hands, and she said, "No, it's just instrumental," So my mother didn't buy it for me. I don't know for what this was a good thing, because I think if you start to listen to music like this with 11, it's a great influence. But maybe it is as well, it pushes you more into the direction taking drugs too early, I don't know.
What album was it?
It was, I think, Led Zeppelin 3.
Oh, that's a nice album.
And it's the album with this disc you can shift inside.
Yeah, I know the one. Yeah.
And I think A Whole Lot of Love is on it.
No, A Whole Lot of Love is on Led Zeppelin 2.
Was it?
Yeah.
So I don't know what else was then on it. So, but I was actually looking for A Whole Lot of Love.
Okay, that's Led Zeppelin 2.
Yeah. But I had this album in the hand and I didn't bought it. So I explored Led Zeppelin probably 5-6 years later.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean in comparison to that. If you came with 13 already into such a contact with such an energy,
Well, yeah, who knows? I guess 15, 16 is probably a good age to discover Led Zeppelin.
I would say, 11 is I mean, it is great if you can discover that, and I could already appreciate it with 11, but yeah, probably it's better to discover Mango Jerry than Led Zeppelin with 11. I don't know. But I mean, then discovering Alice Cooper with 11 is the same, I mean, it is running around, and we have in Cologne Carnival. and everyone is masqueraded, so
Okay,
and they're running around like Alice Cooper, so all black here and getting all the black mascara here and white shirts, with peace signs on it and everything, so absolutely hippies, already with 11. I remember that. It was quite interesting. So yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so you had this influence with 13 already. So.
Yeah.
And did you start already an instrument in this age?
Yeah, I remember with friends, and we decided to the couple of friends who were also into punk music at the time.
Yeah.
And we were going to get a band together,
With 13?
Yeah.
Cool.
But the other two boys had already had dibs on playing guitar, so there was no point having a third guitar player. So I bought a bass.
Yeah.
So that was the first instrument I bought. But it took me a while to get into it. I'd say it was a good year and a half before I really started actually playing it.
Yeah.
And by that time, I'd kind of probably moved past the punk thing a little bit.
Yeah.
Not completely, but I'd opened up to other things.
Doors.
I mean, one friend, I'd have different friends and they listen to different music, so I never minded listening to all sorts of things.
You like as well to listen to eclectic sound.
Yeah,
it's great.
Well, one friend was big into the Waterboys and Fisherman's Blues and all that kind of thing. And another friend was into Metallica. Another friend was into The Clash. It didn't really bother me what it was as long as it was good,
Yeah.
And then when I actually started playing music, then the people I was playing with, they were like going, get into this. This is like learn this Metallica song or learn this Red Hot Chili Peppers song or whatever. So and then from there on in, I didn't have like a genre that I was
sure, which is good. I mean, it's good to stay open-minded, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is great. So, dear listeners, that's so great. I mean, I'm sure we will continue in the third part with that as well. I was wondering, we have tomorrow's the 24th of December, and it's Christmas in...
Don't ask me to play a Christmas song yet.
It's Christmas in Ireland.
Bah, humbug.
And there is one... There is one great song, and it is probably everyone can guess it already now. No, it is not Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht. It's Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht. Alles schläft, einsam wacht. Nee, it is not this song.
Oh, we just had the Christmas song. That's it. It's done.
It is. It is actually a version from the Pogues, Christmas Day. It is not original from Pogues Christmas Day, or the New York's.
The Fairy Tale in New York.
Yeah.
No, that's Pogues. Yeah.
Is it original?
Oh yeah.
All right. So guys, thank you very much for having been at this podcast, and have a great Christmas, and we see us in the third time.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Bye. This is a listener-supported show. I feel honored if you subscribe this show. You can follow me non-financial with a following click on one of my Instagram accounts, or subscribe the visual version of this podcast on YouTube via the link below. If you like what you hear, be sure to tune in this Sunday for the third part of this ArTEEtude audio triptych. If you want to leave a donation for a coffee or a bus ticket, just follow the donation link via the ArTEEtude podcast account. Eventually, I would like to thank through this medium all my members and listeners of the I Love West Cork Artists Network from all over the world. just to remember myself that without you, this here couldn't and wouldn't happen.
You have listened to ArTEEtude, West Cork's first art, fashion and design podcast. ArTEEtude, never so close again. That was too close.